Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. I hope that you are all keeping well.
Today's video is a bit different to what we normally post. We are doing a sit down kind of cost of living video of our time in Portugal.
We did get a lot of requests in our inbox asking about our accommodation that we stayed in and just basically the cost of living. So today we're going to go through what we spent and what it cost us for living in the Algarve for a month.
And if you are familiar with our channel, you'll know that we spent 6 months in Portugal last year, and this time around we're only here for just over a month. Now we're going to reference the prices and the cost of things from this time. It's just that last year was 2021 and everything was so much cheaper back then. It's not really relative to what's going on now. So for the purpose of this video, we will be kind of focusing solely on what things cost for us in the last month of staying in Portugal.
And just bear in mind, these prices that we're going to be talking about today are from the middle of May till the middle of June. So if you are coming to the Algarve in like July or August peak season times, the prices are going to go up. Okay, so we're going to break today's video down into 7 different categories, and they're going to cover accommodation, transport, eating out, joining a gym if you want that, activities, shopping, and medical expenses. 7 different categories.
So first things first, accommodation. We get a lot of messages, especially through Instagram, if we post pictures of like the pool that we have or the cooking food in the kitchen, whatever it is. A lot of people seem to be very interested in how much it costs to actually live in an apartment in the Algarve for a month. So we thought that would be the best place to start. We got our apartment on Airbnb. It's the same one that we were in last year. Luckily enough, we've struck up a bit of a relationship with the apartment manager. His name is Emile. He actually has a website as well. He deals with various apartments around the Algarve. So if you are interested in looking up for an apartment or whatever, we'll leave the link to his website in our description. He's dead sound and he has got a lot of options, so he's definitely a good contact to have here in the Algarve. So like I said, we'll leave the link to his website in our description and he might be able to help you out. Okay,
so the apartment that we rented was in Portimão. We just love that area of the Algarve because it's like centre to everything. If you want to travel around and explore other parts of the Algarve, it's just really, really handy. So our apartment worked out at, now again, this was from the middle of May to the middle of June, so prices will go up for July and August. But we got the apartment for €866 for the month, which works out at like €216 for the week. And that wasn't included in your utilities, so your electricity and water were a little bit extra at the end. And for the month, our utilities worked out at €80 for the month, so it was like €20 for the week, which is really very little. And that was us using like a lot of the aircon.
We were boiling.
Yeah, right there. The AC is blasted.
Oh my god, I am wrecked, honestly.
On the topic of prices, last year we paid €450 a month.
Crazy.
That was from January to June. So you got a couple of things as well. Low season, I think the price, as Samantha said, in July and August they go up, but also in low season like January, February, and then like October, November, December, the prices will drop as well. So it just depends on what time of year you actually want to go. But yeah, last year was $450 a month, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were getting it for literally nothing.
For nothing,
yeah.
And that was because it was A, low season, and B, obviously it was 2021, so prices were different back then.
And another thing, if you are looking to go away and you want to get it a little bit cheaper, we would highly recommend to go away in May, June.
Oh yeah,
you're
if
getting
you can.
the fabulous weather.
Yeah, if you can. I mean, around end of March, April, May, the weather in Portugal starts to get really better.
It's really, really good.
And I believe it also lasts until maybe October as well. So if July and August is maybe too expensive, well then you've got options either side of those months as well.
And it's less busier, so there's just a nice crowd of people if you're into that. So real quick, we want to say a huge thank you to Safety Wing for partnering with us on this video and keeping us safe on our worldwide travels with the best health insurance for nomads. We started using Safety Wing recently, and to be honest, we can't recommend it enough. We are covered for medical care such as emergencies and travel issues such as lost luggage, for example. Safety Wing is really affordable and a third of the price in comparison to other competitors. It's accessible all over the world, and you can even sign up if your travels have already started. It covers you for COVID and also covers your quarantine period. So if you're worried about catching COVID while travelling, Safety Wing has you covered. Another great thing is you can add family members and kids all on the one membership. So obviously travel insurance is super important to us. Whether we are hiking in the snowy mountains of Poland or water sport activities in Portugal or even zipline in the canyons of Croatia, we have peace of mind knowing we are covered with Safety Wing. So click the link in our description to find out more on Safety Wing. You won't regret it. So just a couple of things why we love the apartment. It has 2 huge balconies, which we love. We love chilling out on the balcony. And we have a south-facing balcony, which we love because you get the sun on it all day. Yeah. We also love the pool.
Yeah, the pool.
The whole vibe of the apartment complex.
Yeah, it was.
Really,
it's actually kind of like a residential area. Like what we noticed, it's not like kind of a tourist hotspot, that part of Portimao. It's a lot of people who live in the building are actually just locals, so they're kind of going to work day to day, and like the pool area was never really that busy, and kind of
you'd see it fill up a little bit on the weekends.
Maybe at the weekends, yeah.
People are off work, so you can tell that there's a lot of people that live in them rather than them being rented out.
Yeah, but the pool is like a big selling point for people who are looking to rent out their apartments. If it has a pool included, well then they'll be snapped up. So to have that, and we would recommend if you needed to pay an extra few quid to have a pool. Your own pool, well then definitely go ahead, because we love the pool, didn't we?
Oh, we love it, we spent so much time in it, it was perfect. And also the location of the apartment was perfect. So we were literally about a 10-minute walk from the beach, Praia da Rocha main strip, which can be a bit loud, so we were away from that, but we had the option to just walk up or jump an Uber up to it, which is only a couple of euro as well.
Exactly,
and then we were like a 5-minute walk then from the main shops, so we had like Continent, Lidl's, Aldi's to do our shopping. So
it was perfect. It had everything around it, which was great.
Yeah, that was perfect for us.
Next on the list is transport. So when you arrive into Faro Airport in the Algarve, more than likely, I think most people would probably get a private transfer to their hotel or the Airbnb or the area that they will be staying. For us, we're not really too sure of how much it costs in different parts of the Algarve. For us, it was €60 to go from Faro to Portimao, which is about a 55 minute drive. We did hear that there's public transport. Obviously there's public transport, there's trains and there's buses and things like that. We didn't actually use any, and we did hear that it's a little bit of a messy situation to do it. So I mean, after flying and landing and things like that, you probably just want to get to your hotel or your apartment or whatever it is. So paying the €60 for the transport, it's just, or the transfer, sorry, it's just easy, isn't it? It's just handy.
Yeah, a lot of people just count that in with their holiday spending or whatever you're going over for. It's like, okay, well I know I have to pay the €60 for the transfer to the apartment, like from
it
the
gets
airport.
you to the door from the airport, so it's worthwhile paying it.
So also another part of transport that we want to talk about is if you're looking to rent a car. Last year we rented a car when we were over here, and I mean, can you remember the price that we
I think it was
really
€19 a day. And we had the choice of any car in the lot because there's nobody here.
Again, it was because of COVID times, so that's why we got it that cheap. So this time around, Keelan's sister and 2 nephews came over to visit us, and we weren't planning on renting a car ourselves, but she wanted to rent the car because they had never been to Portugal and she wanted us to show her around. So she was willing to pay whatever for the car, like for the 10 days. So we looked up a few different companies, and the best deal that we got was with Alvor Car Rental. Now there was 2 different options you could go for. So you could go for one, it worked out at, so this was for 10 days now, €400 for the 10 days, but you had to pay a €1,500 deposit on your credit card. So there was a hold. Or else you could go for another option, which we went with, and that was your sister's choice, I suppose. That's what she wanted to go with, and it worked out at, it was €610 with full insurance. So you were paying the extra couple of hundred, I think, to be fully insured, but you didn't have to put a deposit.
Exactly, So it was just you get in there, you just pay what you owe, and then that's it. You're fully covered. There's no hold. There's no. Because we actually did do the hold last year, and I think it takes 2 or 3 weeks, is it, for the money to come back into account? So
I don't think it was that much either, the hold that we did. Usually it's about like 300. I don't know why, 1,500.
Yeah, it seemed expensive to us, but we went with the pay in full kind of option, which was €61 a day, fully insured and covered.
I think it was when the guy went through the whole insurance with us. It just sounded like the perfect option to go for. Like if the car got scratched or whatever, you were just insured for everything.
And that was a 5-seater as well. So, but yeah, on the topic of renting a car, if this is outside of a budget kind of thing, but our advice to people who are coming to the Algarve is to most definitely try and rent a car and have your own wheels, because it just gives you that freedom to see places that you probably wouldn't normally see if you were, say, going on tours and things like that. So having the car just gives you the option to just
it gives you the freedom to jump in the car and go wherever you want in the Algarve, and there's so many beautiful places to see rather than stick to the one spot.
Exactly, and we actually found so many different places by having the car. It was kind of like by accident, if you like, that not many people would have known about, I guess. So just having that car gave us that extra bit of freedom to really see the Algarve. Like, it's just absolutely a great idea to get one.
So it's worth paying the price, I have to say it is, to get a car, like even for a couple of days, not for your whole holiday or whatever, but yeah, it's definitely worth it. So another option for transport if you're here for a long stay would be to buy a bike. We did that last year when we were here for 6 months, and we went down to, there was a bike shop I think a couple of minutes down the road from us, and we got a really good deal. We paid €120 each for 2 bikes.
They were second-hand bikes, and the guy actually gave them like a full service and everything. Like we had no issues whatsoever.
Bikes.
Now, if you are renting a car, like I did before, you don't drink as much. So if you do fancy going out and having a few drinks and enjoying yourself and things like that, you don't want to use a car, or you don't want to cycle home drunk, you can use an Uber. We use Uber all the time, no matter where we go. It seems to be, it's in most countries anyway, it seems to be the cheapest way to get around. For give you an example of how much it would cost, if we're in Portimao and we're going to Algarve, it would cost about 5, 6, maybe €7, depending on what time of the day. If you want to go on a longer journey from, say, Portimao to Albufeira, you'd possibly get it for about €20, €25. So yeah, if you don't have an Uber app, definitely download it. You just link it in with your credit card. It's all very easy to use. You just type in where you want to go. If your location is on your phone, it'll tell you exactly where you are, and you can see the little car on the map, and it shows you how far away the guy is and things like that. So it's just a really handy tool, isn't it?
Yeah, it actually gives you the price before you book it as well,
exactly,
so you know already in advance how much it's going to cost you.
Yeah.
If you want to go for it or not. But it's definitely cheaper than taxis. I mean, taxis are like triple the price.
Yeah, in some places, they're really
so highly recommend, if you don't have Uber, download it and use it. It's so easy to use. Okay, so next on the list is shopping, so groceries.
Okay.
Grocery shopping. So that varied in price, and obviously it depends on the person as well. I mean, everyone's shopping is going to be different. When we went over to Portugal, our plan was to really eat in more and try just eat healthy, because we travel so much as well. We just wanted to sort of get back on track and just get like good nutrition and stuff into us,
and things like that, and cooking ourselves and things like that. That was the main sort of idea for being in Portugal, wasn't it? To eat out less, cook in more.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So our groceries, say, on average cost us about €70 per week, I'd say.
Yeah. I think when we first got there, it was like a big shop, and then
that's always the dearest.
Yeah, and then what happens then is, as the weeks go on, your shop gets a bit it's a bit less and it's a bit cheaper, because you still have stuff from the previous
you're just topping up, like, you
obviously
you buy all your spices and like your cleaning supplies and whatever else that you need if it's a long stay. So you'll always have them then. And then it's just your main things, like your weekly shop would be like your meats and your veggie gear if you're like Keelan. So and like that, if you're a couple, you probably could spend a little bit less. But our shopping, we would buy, I mean, we had to buy the veggie meats for Keelan, and then I would buy meats and fish and stuff like that
for you.
So
you were making kind of different meals and things like that, So as Samantha said, if you're a couple who maybe are both either vegetarian or you both eat meat, it could be cheaper again.
You could buy less meats and make big dishes up, I suppose, for your dinner and that. So, and on the topic of eating out, if that is your thing, so this is going by me and Keelan. Our cost was in between €30 to €60. Now, like, there's a big difference, obviously, like it's half the price in between them two prices I'm given, but that would depend if you were going out for a meal and you were getting a meal each, and maybe drinks with it. Yeah. You're talking about maybe €60. I don't think our bill would be much more than that.
No, and that would be like with a starter and a main and like maybe 2 or 3 drinks each as well. So the higher end of that would obviously involve all of that then. And then on days where we would just just maybe it was like a late lunch or something like that, where we just have a main. We probably paid between 10 and 15 quid each, which is probably about €30 for
yeah, depending on what you want. Like a lot of times I actually got some like peri chicken and chips and salad, and like that would average from like €10 maybe for the meal to like max 15.
And obviously
depending on where you're eating.
Yeah, it does, like, exactly, depending on where you're eating. If you're eating in like a tourist hotspot, you know, you can expect to pay a little bit more than where you would if you weren't in that area. So I think generally speaking, between 30 and €60 is a good sort of figure.
I think so, like that's what, if you average that, as in like €30 being if you were going out for just a lunch maybe, and then 60 if you were going out for like starters, meal and drinks then as well.
And as well, drinks, you can get pints of kind of Portuguese beer for €1.50, €2 in some places, and then obviously in the tourist spots you might pay €4 or €5. Cocktails, I think, were cheaper, weren't they, than Ireland anyway?
Do you know, it depended. Sometimes you'd go down and there'd be a lovely beach bar and you could get a cocktail for €6.
Yeah, which is good. Then you could
go to a bar up a little bit and you could pay about €10 for a cocktail. €10 max, I think, was the cocktails. That would be the most expensive cocktail. Next up is activities.
So this is, again, we're going to just say how much things are.
And these are the activities that we did.
Yes, exactly, So if you're into activities, then this will definitely help. If you're not, well, then you probably won't spend much on activities anyway. So as you know, the Algarve sits right on the ocean, and there is plenty of boat tours available.
So the very first boat tour we ever did was a coastal tour. And we booked this with Algarve Boat Tours. Funny enough, we used them again for a couple of boat tours because they just seemed to be really cheap, didn't they? Yeah,
they were reasonable enough, and they also come out, although it's Algarve Boat Tours, the tours that we were doing, we're leaving from Portimao Marina, which is only a couple of minutes from our apartment, so it was ideal. Yeah,
so that coastal tour that we did was €30 each and was so worth it. Honestly, like, you should really consider doing it if you're over in the Algarve.
Yeah.
It was beautiful, wasn't it?
I thought it was a great thing as the very first thing to do when you come to the Algarve, because it kind of shows you the cliffs from the perspective of being out at the water. So it starts in Portimao Marina and then it goes up the coast towards Carviero, so you get to see like Algarve Secco and Benagil and things like that. So it's a great first thing to do, I think, and
it really is, because once you do that and then you see the likes of Algarve Secco and the Benagil caves, you'll be like, I want to go there.
You want to go back and go in
and you'll
from
do
the
a
land.
different tour. Definitely worth a trip. That coastal tour was amazing, and like that brought you in and out of the caves, and it was just really great. Nice.
It was 2 hours long and it was €30, so that's reasonable enough, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Another tour that Algarve Boat Tours do that we did was a trip to Silvis. That was €50. Now that included a dinner and endless amount of drinks that you could have. It took about an hour and a half to get there, and then you've got 2 hours in the town to kind of walk around, and then an hour or so back as well. So you can have what was the options for food? They had like chicken.
Really good, yeah. So they had, it was like a starters. When we got on the boat as well, I liked this. They gave you the food straight away. Yeah. So you know, you didn't have to, when you stopped off in the town, you weren't buying food.
Yeah,
then
exactly,
you weren't hungry and buying food.
Yeah.
So it was well worth the money. I mean, you're paying for that anyway on the trip, the €50.
Yeah. So for €50, we thought it was a pretty good deal.
Yeah, really good. And then like that, you got 2 hours then to explore around the town, and you could go and see. It's like a historic town. It's really nice. We never got a chance to do it last year, so really happy to do it this year.
Yeah.
And you could go and see the castle, and like just really,
it was a really nice day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a lovely day. I'd highly recommend that tour as well. It was so worth the money what was included in it.
Yeah. And speaking of highly recommended, our number one thing, we did this in a review video, the Benagil Caves. If you've been to the Algarve and you haven't gone to the Benagil Caves, well then you have to fly back now and go straight to see them caves. They're amazing. They're one of the most incredible things that we've ever seen. We did a kayak trip from Benagil, so it cost us, was it €15 for two of us?
€15 per person.
Right.
So you could get, even if you're getting into one kayak, it's per person.
Yeah,
which was actually really good though.
Yeah.
I mean, so you get the kayak for what, an hour and a half?
Yeah, I think it was a little bit over an hour, and it takes about 5 or 10 minutes to get from Benagil Beach into the cave. Once you're in there, then you've roughly got about 50 minutes to an hour to kind of, it's like a lovely little beach that sits right underneath the cave, and you've got about 50 minutes there to just hang around, and then you just jump back in your kayak and then paddle around again back to Benagil Beach and give your kayak back. And that was, as Samantha said, €15 each or per person. That was well worth the
It was
money, wasn't it?
well worth. That was
Yeah.
our favourite thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really worth it. Now, we booked that on Benagil Beach.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we noticed there is a lot of tours because Benagil seems like the top thing to do.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
literally everywhere. If you're staying in Albufeira,
Yeah.
if you're staying in Vilamoura, there's signs
Yeah.
up everywhere
Yeah.
promoting the Benagil Caves. So it could work out a little bit dearer. Unless you have a car. We had the car, so we drove to Benagil
Yeah.
and parked there, you know,
Yeah.
and booked the kayak there. But there is trips that you can book if you're staying somewhere else, and they'll sort out like a transfer or whatever for you, which would probably bring up the price, but definitely worth it, honestly. So next activity is a quad bike tour that we did, and that was deadly, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it
This
was
was
great.
from Albufeira. So Albufeira seems to be the place that does all of these like off-road
things,
bike tours and stuff like that. So we had spent a couple of days in Albufeira, and we jumped on the quad bike tour, and it cost us, it was €60 for the two of us, so €30 each on the same quad.
Yeah.
You know, they don't charge per quad, it's per person.
Yeah. So I think if you would have been on your own, how much was that?
I think it still would have been 30. I think-
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was still
okay,
€30, yeah.
So I think they charge by person then, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah.
But good fun, wasn't it?
Really good fun.
Yeah.
Keelan forgot his license, so of course I had to drive. So if you want to drive the quads, make sure you have your license. You do need your license for it.
And speaking of kind of off-road adventures and activities, we also did a safari tour with a company called Al Safari Tours, and again it was in Albufeira, and this was a great tour. It was a bit different to the quad bikes in the sense that we weren't driving, we were just sort of sitting on the back of this kind of open top Jeep. It lasted about 5 hours. They bring you up to this kind of cool little sunset spot. They give you rosé and wine and things like that, and you can just chill out. It brings you all around the countryside of the Algarve, and it ends in, I can't remember the name of the town, but it was this beautiful little kind of Portuguese town, and they had dinner and things like that for us and stuff like that. So it was definitely worth the expense.
€35 each, definitely worth it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I
like
mean,
that
yeah, like
did
I said,
go
it
on
lasted
for a
5 or
couple of
6
hours,
hours. Yeah,
and
yeah.
we got some drinks and dinner.
And it was
and
fun
everything.
as well. We actually did a video based solely on the safari tour, so we leave that in the description. So if you want to laugh, go check it out. Also, one of the main questions we get asked about regarding activities is actually jet skis. So the Algarve has loads of options for jet skis. We did it in Vilamoura, and it cost us, I think, was it €60?
It was €60 for 30 minutes.
Yeah. So that was, and like we've kind of checked it. They do it in Algarve as well. It's based on the amount of time that you're going to do it. So if you are on the cheaper end of it, you'll get maybe 10 or 15 minutes of it, and then on the more expensive side, it will be a bit longer. From what we can gather from the research that we've done, it's generally between, say, 45 to 60 to 70 euros, in and around there. So it might vary from 5 or 10 euros depending on what part of the Algarve you actually do it. And then, like I said, the time is also going to be a factor in how much you pay. So generally speaking, it'll be between maybe 45 and 60 or 70 quid.
And speaking of water, we did 2 water parks. And they were Slide and Splash and AquaShow.
Yeah.
So last year we did Slide and Splash, and that cost us, I think I booked it online, and when you book it online you get a little bit of a discount, like 10% or something, so you get a couple of euro off it.
Yeah.
And I think we paid €28, it was €28,
Right.
wasn't it, for Slide and Splash?
For Slide and Splash, yeah.
Yeah, and then once you get in, everything is free, and
Yeah.
it was a great water park. We'd highly recommend it. They
And
so
the
many
water parks,
slides,
so
so
much
much fun, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
So because we had done that one last year, we wanted to try a different one this year, so we done AquaShow, and that worked out. We didn't book the tickets online, but again you can, and you can get your 10% off, so a couple of euro. I think it was a little bit dearer than the Slide and Splash.
Was it 33 euros or something?
AquaShow
It was
were
33, it was.
€33 paying at the door. Also
Yeah.
not too much. It probably would have been in and around the 28 if we booked online.
Online,
as well.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
So yeah, we paid at the door, and like that, everything is included when you go in. And there was a little bit more to AquaShow than Slide and Splash, though we equally loved them both.
Yeah, they were both excellent. Yeah, AquaShow had the roller coaster, which I think was the tipping point.
That was the selling point
Yeah,
for
yeah,
AquaShow.
for
Yeah,
AquaShow,
if you
yeah.
love roller coasters, they had a deadly roller coaster there. There was a couple of rides as well that, like, you know, Carnival Fun Ferry rides.
Yeah.
That went upside down and stuff like that as well. And then they had a big giant wave pool, and there was a lot of slides. And what I loved about AquaShow as well was there was a lot of slides that you could go on for like 4 people, so a group of people could go in the slides together.
Yeah.
Which is always the best
There's a lot
crack.
more of that in AquaShow. Yeah,
There's
they
a lot
also
more of
for food as well. Both obviously, both water parks offered food. I think the prices were between 8 and 10 euros per person for a meal. So that would be like burgers and chips, or hot dog and chips and things like that. So we thought that was quite reasonable, didn't we?
I thought it was.
You're only going to eat once for the whole day, probably. So
that's it.
8 to 10 euros was grand.
I thought it was really good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was in both Slide and Splash and AquaShow. So yeah, they're just a kind of a short list of the activities that we did. Like I said, there's so much to do in the Algarve. There's so many activities. So if you are interested in the ones that we did, well then they will be the prices. But like I said, yeah, if you go on to like Get Your Guide and things like that, you'll see so many options for activities, and they have the prices as well on their website. So
that's mainly who we actually book most of our tours and activities with, is Get Your Guide. It's great. Book it there, and then online they send you a little voucher thing to scan. Other than the boat tours that we booked with Algarve Boat Tours, it's usually Get Your Guide.
Go between Get Your Guide and maybe like local tour companies. Okay, so next on the list, and again this might not be relative to everybody, but it is the gym membership. We signed up to a gym in Portimao called Village Fitness, which is absolutely the best gym on this planet.
Honestly, our favourite gym ever. We love it so
amazing.
much.
The people are so nice. The equipment that they have is great. The whole layout, the vibe, everyone's so friendly.
Such a nice atmosphere.
Yeah, it is. It's the perfect gym. It's the best one that we've ever been to. It cost us €60 a month, which I don't know. It depends on where you're from. Watching this video, for Ireland, that's probably expensive for a gym membership. We normally pay 25, 30 a month.
Yeah, maybe max a month. Like
but like
couples deals and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yeah, but like we said, we just absolutely love the gym. So paying €60 a month is just a no-brainer for us.
We probably would have paid anything.
We probably would have paid anything. But again, this is relative to the person. If you want to go to the gym and work out, well then that's how much it cost us to go to Village. There's loads of gyms anyway around Portimao, and I would imagine the Algarve region. So
they also, if you're coming over for like a week's holiday or 2 weeks holiday, they do like a weekly membership. And we priced it for Keelan's nephew when he came over. He was going to join for the week he was over, and I think it worked out at €30
for the week. Yeah, so if you're doing a long stay and you know you're going to be here for longer than a week, or and you do like to go to the gym, well then get a gym membership, and there'll be loads of options. And generally speaking, I'd say between €50-60 a month is what you'd be paying.
And it is worth it though. They do a lot of activities that you can take part in, like outdoor cycling and stuff, and organise these events and stuff. So there's a lot going on. And
we actually met a lot of like I suppose friends from there now. Like so, it's a kind of there's a social element to it as well. So
everyone that works there is so nice. They always come over and talk to you and make sure you're all right, and maybe help you if you need to with an exercise, and they're just all so lovely, the staff. So
€60 a month for the gym. Next on the list is shopping. So this does not mean groceries. This is kind of like miscellaneous shopping, I suppose. So if you need like a new pair of runners or top or jeans, clothes, whatever it might be.
In Portimao, about 15 minutes walk away from where we stayed. There is a shopping centre called AquaCentre, and they have like pennies in it. There was Bershka, H&M, JD Sports, all your typical shops, and they were the same prices.
That's generally all them sort of global brands, I guess. They are always going to be, I think, the same price no matter where you are. So like you're not going to go to H&M say in Portimao and get a jacket that's half the price than you would say in Dublin or London or whatever like that. So generally it was all pretty much the same.
It's all the same unless you're going to go to like an outlet,
maybe,
which there is a big outlet in Faro.
You
might get like, and you go to like the Nike store out there, you'll get cheaper. But like not in the likes of the AquaCentre, all the shops were the same price. The only thing that I noticed was they have a different selection. And they've a lot more nicer like summer gear and stuff. Probably because of the weather and where we are. But like Pennies might have a different bit of a selection. And Bershka and stuff like that. But prices were the same.
But generally speaking, our expenses on that sort of topic would have been quite low. Okay, next on the list is medical expenses, and thankfully we didn't actually have a huge amount of them. However, we did have to visit a physio. I actually had a shoulder problem, like a rotator cuff issue. Funnily enough, from my camera bag going on and off over the same shoulder, I developed like an issue that was really, really bad. So I had to go to a physio, and the cost of the physio was €40. Okay, so that was the first appointment, and then it was €30 for every appointment thereafter. Now, the appointment itself, you used to come down with me. It would last about 2 hours, and it would turn into like a spa treatment, wasn't it? Like he would do his hard work at the beginning, and then he'd hook me up to machines that would help and things like that. So it was like a really in-depth appointment, if that makes sense. And I didn't actually have many appointments because the ones that he did, they were so good that the issue, he had sorted the issue out within a couple of weeks. So for the price of it, €40 for the first appointment and then 30 for the appointments after, I think the value of it was excellent, to be honest with you.
So another medical expense of ours over here was we had to get our tropical vaccinations done because we do plan to go to Southeast Asia really soon. So in order to go to Thailand, you need to have your tropical vaccinations, and there's 3 vaccinations that you need, and they are typhoid, tetanus and hepatitis A. So me and Keelan went up to the local hospital in Portimao when we got over here just to inquire about them, and we ended up getting the consultation, which was completely free. And we got our typhoid and our tetanus, and that worked out at €40 for the both of us, for the 2 of them.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy. It was so cheap, like.
So basically €20 for you, €20 for me for the 2 injections.
For the injection each, yeah. And then we got a prescription then for the hepatitis A, which we needed to go to the chemist ourselves and collect. And that was €48 for the 2 of us.
For both of us.
So 24 each for the hepatitis A. And then we went back to the hospital and they gave us the injection then for free.
For free as well. So, and just in contrast, in Dublin, to get a consultation alone, it's €60 per person, or they were doing a couples thing, I think, for 90.
Yeah.
That's before you have any injections, so you're already paying for the consultation. Where here, it was free. It was great. So again, probably something that's not relative to everybody, but just kind of gives you an insight into, I suppose, how things can be done here in Portugal. It was quite cheap to get something like that, very specific, obviously, but to us, we really appreciate the fact that that's how much it costs.
I know, it was great. So even if you live over in Portugal and you're watching this video and you do plan to go to Thailand
with us,
that's
you have to get your needles.
Yeah. So anyway, we hope that you enjoyed our breakdown of what it cost us in Portugal for the month. And if you have any questions, of course, you can DM us or just send us a message in the comments below, and we'll reply and get back to you if there's anything that we didn't cover and you'd like to know. Yeah,
absolutely, yeah. If there's anything that we have left out of this video, or you're just generally interested in what something in particular costs, well then just let us know and we will tell you exactly what that is. And as we mentioned earlier, last year we were 6 months in Portugal, so we have a playlist of all the places that we went to, which we will leave in the description of this video. We have also shot some videos this time around. We will also leave a link to that playlist.
Currently in a new country that we've both never been, and we're super excited.
We can't wait.
We arrived in late last night after a crazy travel day. 3
countries in one day we had to travel. God almighty, we're wrecked.
We're still jet lagged,
but we're here.
So if you want to follow along on our adventure, please subscribe to our channel. We promise we've something really cool planned. You cannot miss this. So we'll see you in the next one.